What's new in BlockApps version 2.0.0? One of the new things that's been added is in the BlockApps information window. And you can see that actually there are actually a couple of icons that's been added as well, which represents the two new commands that's been added to BlockApps, as well as an additional info button, which gives you an ideas of some of the information about the product itself. So like the previous version of BlockApps, it can be accessed off of the ribbon under add-ins, and then a block apps palette where you see these two new commands as well. And then on the toolbar, in this case, I have toolbar docked. And again, these are two new commands I'm going to go over. The first of these new commands I'm going to go over is called DDBlkCat, which basically uh, allows you to export all the blocks. In this case, I have the blocks palette open, so you can see all the blocks that are currently in this drawing. And this is a sample floor plan drawing that comes with AutoCAD pared down, basically eliminate a lot of stuff. But there are these additional blocks that are still in the drawing, which I'm going to export out either as a PDF, DWFX, DWF, SLD, which is slide file, or a drawing file as another last one of the options. Uh, I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate the PDF option, and each one of these options has the ability for you to place it in a particular location, a folder. In this case, I created a folder called underneath demo called blocks. And currently there's nothing in the blocks folder. And to show you that there's actually nothing in the blocks folder, it is. It's empty. So I'm going to create a PDF of each and every one of these blocks that, and then there'll be separate files. And in this case, I have the option to select what quality, vector quality, raster quality, merge control. I'm gonna leave those alone for now. And, what to include, layer information. In this case, I'm not going to include any layer information. I don't need to capture any fonts for as well. This is just to demonstrate how each and every one of these blocks can be brought out as a PDF file. And I'm going to give it basically a plot style of ACAD, so there'll be color. And I'm going to click start. And once I click start, there are a total of 17 blocks in the current drawing. And it's going to insert each and every one of these blocks and export them out, in this case, as a PDF. And like I said before, they could be DWF, DDBFX, even SLD, or individual drawings. So after I demonstrate the PDF option, I'm going to demonstrate the DWG option, which is a lot faster because it doesn't require any kind of insert of each block, but it would just actually go ahead and go through the block table and export them out as separate DWG files. And in many cases, it's a good idea to do so because then you could share the blocks that are in the current drawing as separate drawings and use as insert blocks into other drawings and other projects which you may have. All right, so this is almost done. It's down to the last three blocks that are in the current drawing to be exported as separate PDFs. And once those are all done, the DDBlkCat program will end by bringing up the location where those are saved. There they are. And right away you can see that these are individual PDF files. There are a total of 17, as I mentioned, because a total of 17 blocks are in the current drawing as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete these because I don't need them anymore. I'll just demonstrate, and I'm gonna make sure this blocks folder is continue to be empty. On my next demonstration, again, clicking off the toolbar, DDBlkCat button. In this case, I'm gonna choose DWG. And as I mentioned, I'm going to export each and every one of these blocks in the current drawing as DWG files to be used as blocks in other drawings. And I'm choosing again that folder location, and there are no options that are needed here other than the fact that I could select different devices, which goes back, jumping back and forth here, which I don't need to do in this case. And I click start, and it's a lot faster process because there's no inserting of the block itself, but actually it just cycles through, and right away you can see. And again, back in the blocks folder, it opens the location where it's saved. It just cycles through all the blocks in the current drawing and saves them out as separate DWG files, which now you can use. Right, so we're going to delete that as well to make sure it goes back to an empty folder for me to continue the next demonstration. Now we'll remove the blocks palette. Don't need that anymore. I'm going to demonstrate the second command that's been added called DDExport. And DDExport basically is a byproduct of the DDBlkCat uh, command because basically the interface is very similar. In this case, instead of exporting blocks in the current drawing, I'm going to export certain areas in the current drawing. So with the PDF option selected, I could now, and again, I'm going to select the location where I'm going to save this. And just for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm going to use the same folder blocks to export PDF of a certain area of this drawing in Model tab. So I'm going to demonstrate later on how to do that also a little differently in the layouts. So this time I'm going to actually include layer information. Okay, I'm going to capture fonts, leave the paper size as is. I'm going to do a window, and I'm going to do this side of the drawing. Click OK. And I'm not going to include the layout name, but I'm going to leave the drawing name, which is called floor plan sample. I'm going to add to it and call left side. All right, so later on, I'm going to do the right side. In this case, I'm going to use acat.ctb, so there'll be color with the left side. I know what scale fits. In this case, half-inch scale will fit for lemma 17. I could have chose fit too, by the way, but I'm going to, in this case, do half. All right, click start. So now I'm going to export just that area that I selected as a PDF file, honoring in this case, the acat.ctb showing all the colors, and notice the layers, right? Now I could, turn off layers because I purposely select the layers for this export. All right, demonstrate one more time the model layout. In this case, again, PDF, but I'm going to choose folder location. Let's keep it on the blocks. And then I'm going to call this right side. So that I keep the left side PDF as well as the right side. But in this case, I'm not going to choose the layer info, but I'm going to choose the bookmark information, just so you see what the difference is. And then leave that. So let me say, and do a different window. In this case, I'm going to do this window this time on the right side. Okay, click OK. Keeping the scale as is, but I'm going to, instead of using acat.cdb, I'm going to use the monochrome. Okay, and again, this basically searches all the plot styles I have specified in the folder under options. So it finds all the ones I have in my AutoCAD session and leaving the scale as is. And once I click start, it's going to again create the PDF of this side of the screen with whatever options I selected for the PDF. And I'm going to drag it over. So again, here there are no layouts, no layers of this PDF because I chose not to, but then there are these links. All right, so that's different between this one, which has the layers, right, versus the right side, which doesn't have the layers, but have the bookmarks. All right, so now I'm going to demonstrate what happens actually in the layout. So in layout, and I could purposely have these three layouts set up, and I've set them up as 11 by 17 full bleed. All right, and I gave them basically B1, B2, B3. And now with this DDExport command, again, choosing the PDF option, I'm going to, again, select the blocks location to save this. And I actually include the layout name if I wanted to, which is this layout name, B1. All right. And then I'm going to create the layer information this time. Don't do the bookmarks, just so you see what happens. And then instead of current layout, I'm going to actually do all. So this gives me the option to whatever setup I have in each and every one of these layouts, it's going to use that setup. The only thing that's going to change is, of course, what happens with the PDF itself. All right, click start. And then go through every layout and actually export them as a single PDF file. So they're not separate PDF files. And notice that because I chose layers to be included, I could then again control the layers, right? And then I'm going to do another one. In this case, I'm going to go to this layout and then choose again the command, and instead of all, I'm going to choose current. So the current layout, and I'm going to use acat.ctb again. So again, something different. So I have the option to override the current page setup for the current layout only, but not for all layouts. All right. And then don't include information, but just create bookmarks. Again, just see you see the difference. Again, I'm going to leave it under the blocks folder and then click start. This time should give me the color objects. All right, and as you can see that it gives me these color objects, and again, no layers, but only these bookmarks. Right. So that concludes the new what's new with BlockApps version 2.0.0.